Check one, check two. Yeah, man. I have to tell you, what a strange movie this was. This was definitely by far one of the strangest movies I have ever seen. And before I know some of y'all gonna clown and be like, dog, you went to go see Barbie? What's wrong, man? What's wrong? But I gotta tell you, man, I went with friends and family. And I gotta tell you, for the most part, everybody enjoyed it. Yes. It was actually pretty good. It was better than I thought. But before you get too excited, let me tell you one thing, though. There was a lot of modern day woman feminism in this movie. Almost a little too much. And I will say this, that this movie is not for kids. Actually, one of my friends, she brought her daughter with us. And luckily, her daughter's smart enough to know what's up. But I was like, yo, I don't think she's of age to see this movie. This was a movie that was clearly written for adults. And it's nothing but the woke agenda of modern feminism, and that women can do better than men, and that they feel, I guess, supposedly that we still live in this patriarchy system. There was a lot of things that I found concerning about this film, but I gotta say, it had me pretty much laughing the whole way through. And I feel like I haven't laughed this hard in the movies in a long time. I was laughing pretty much the whole way through this movie. I am glad that I saw this in the theaters. I mean, I was like completely into it. I can't even believe that my homegirl fell asleep. She told me she fell asleep because it was too white. Okay. But for me, I was just like, yo, I was in this. I mean, I feel like there was a part where I was just like on the edge of my seat. And then, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm the only black guy here. I've never seen so many white, older, elderly white women in a movie theater all wearing pink at the same time. And not only that, I was the only black guy there, but everybody was cool with me. Everybody was really nice. So I know I stuck out. Everybody was like, oh, yeah. But they were like, hey, we know. Yeah, this is the movie. This is the movie to see. We know why you here. I got to tell you, it was like Coachella for old white women. That's it, man. Barbie was Coachella for old white women. Yo, it was chaos at the movie theater. But I will say that I was also not just laughing with the film. I was also laughing at the film too. They go from the Barbie world into the human world. Right there, boom, got my attention. I'm thinking, all right, I got to see this movie. That's what it's about. I already knew where this is going. But let me just see how they did it. You should go see this movie, whether you're a man or a woman, because I hear some men talking about, oh, I'm not going to go see that movie, dog. That's a movie for girls. That's a movie my girlfriend wants to go see. No, men should see this movie too, because you should know what they're saying about us behind closed doors. And I know some of us already kind of know what's obvious. The one scene that sticks out to me right now was there was a point where they brought the human Barbie into the Barbie world, and then they figured out a system and a plan to get their strength back and their power back. And the way was to manipulate men and play off of their egos. Whoa. Okay. I've had this conversation with lots of women. I already knew that part was coming. I was just waiting for it. When they showed that part, I started laughing. But I think people were probably looking at me like, what you laughing at, man? Or you're laughing before the joke even happened. Because I already saw where the joke was going. Parts about this movie that bother me. So when Ken goes to the real world, then he understands the power of man. He understands that, oh, yeah, men run the country and beer and women are supposed to serve the man and this and that. So he gets this knowledge, and then this is where they take from the Bible. They even pointed out that there's parts where they take from the painter Michelangelo. So anyways, it's like they take from the Bible and they say Adam and Eve, right? But they reverse the role from Adam and Eve. And basically they're making Ken, the man, Eve. And they're making Barbie, Adam. And rewriting the Bible in this movie and using Barbie as a metaphor. I don't know how many people are going to pick that up. Not to mention that they're also playing off The Wizard of Oz. They're definitely playing off The Wizard of Oz. When I watched this whole movie, I really felt like I was watching the modern day version of The Wizard of Oz. Yo, all kinds of hidden gems in here, all kinds of subliminal messages throughout this film. And if you're one of those that like to smoke the ganja, I'm telling you, you go see this movie, wow, the subliminal messages they're gonna connect right through. They go to this world and they try to find out, you know, what's making her go there, because she's seeing that she's starting to change. And it's because the mother is drawing these pictures that dictate a different type of Barbie who questions life and who questions her existence. And in this Barbie world, it's Utopia, right? Where everybody's just happy all the time and nobody's thinking about money or fear. They have everything they want. They all have the houses that they want. They have the friends they want. They have the lifestyle they want. They have the cars, the clothes, the fashion, the jewelry, the Chanel bags. I even saw a Chanel bag in the movie. They got everything, right? Things start to happen to her because there's a woman in the outside world that's teleporting these thoughts to her. So there's a lot about different universes in this movie, multiverses, traveling through different portals. I found it really interesting that for them to get back into this world and to go back into their world, they were going through a portal in Venice Beach, which makes sense because Venice Beach has a lot of interesting things going on there where it would seem like there would be some portals in Venice Beach. So she gets this call in from the woman. But the whole point of bringing that up was that, oh, wow, snap. Oh, okay. So it's not the young generation, the Generation Z, as they're all saying. It's not the young generation that wants to go see Barbie. It's actually adults that want to go see Barbie. And so when they did the portrayal in the movie of her going to the real world, or our world, shall I say, to find the girl that was playing with the Barbie doll, she thought it was the daughter. And it actually turned out that it wasn't the daughter. It was actually the mother. And when I saw that part, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I already saw that coming. I bet it's the mother who's into this. Sure enough, it was the mother that knew what was up, and the daughter had no idea what the hell was going on. That's another metaphor in itself. Not to mention that they're probably going to say, okay, well, where's the father at? So then they had one role of a father who's there for 5 minutes, and it's like, you don't even see him in the movie. You don't even see him. He's trying to learn Spanish on Duolingo or whatever language it was. I couldn't even tell because it sounded weird the way he was portraying it, but I know that was the whole point of the movie. Yeah, he just portrays like a dumb idiot in the movie, I thought. And that is going to bring me to the further point. So when she finds out that it's the mother that wants her, long story short, because I want to get to the part that I really want to talk about, because, man, this is a movie to actually really dissect in a way. This movie is definitely disguised as a fantasy and as a fairy tale and as a movie for kids. This is a Wizard of Oz movie with who's behind the curtain. But I will say this, though, that I think it's definitely there to influence and encourage the mind of young adults, preferably young female adults. What I found interesting was that when they go over there, Ken just hops in the car and just says, hey, I'm going to go because, you know, he wants to be there, because that is true. Ken was built for Barbie in Barbie's world. It's interesting how I could kind of see how they're playing off of religion on this. He goes there. He finds out about patriarchy. She goes there and she gets more in touch with being a woman, is what I'm getting from the film. He leaves, goes back to Barbie world because he realizes that he can't get a job in our world. And you know what I thought was interesting was that he said, oh, if I had all the MBAs and college degrees and doctorate degrees and PhDs and all this and that he would probably be a very successful man in this world. But because he doesn't have all of that, he decided to go back to Barbie world and take over. There were two things about that I found interesting. One was I was like, yeah, he's probably right. Some of these college degrees don't really mean shit. He's probably right about that. But two, I was also thinking, look at you, man. Ryan Gosling or Ken. You're a white, beautiful man with blonde hair. The world is yours, man. The world is yours. When you look like that, I'm sure you could get far with no college degree. So that was the part where I was just like, I don't know. I think he might have got that job. Even when he went into the job for the doctor, I was like, he might have got that job. Or he might have been like some low-level nurse first and then move up, which is funny. They did classify in the movie. Another part that they said in the movie, and I'm just throwing these at you because I want to say them while they're fresh in my mind. But the other part was just like there was a man who was the one that told Will Ferrell's character, the CEO of Mattel, like, hey, I think there's a Barbie that's in the real world that's on the loose. But then when she comes in to find out, oh, there's no women that work here. There's the one man that is a low-level position. He doesn't have any power within the company. He probably doesn't make as much money as them. He's like, oh, he has no power and is not efficient within the company. Does that make him qualify as a woman? Oh, boom, 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 boom. Damn. Modern day feminism at its finest. That part right there had me laughing out loud. But I said to myself, I was like, oh, am I laughing because that was funny, or am I laughing at the movie because I cannot believe that you put that in the movie? I think it was a little bit of both. Let me just go through this, man, because I feel like, yo, this this movie is a mind fuck. Yo, it is. Okay, so anyways, Ken comes back to the Barbie world. He decides that, hey, he couldn't do it in that world, so he's like, I'm going to come back to my world and I'm going to make it happen because it's easier to do it here. Boom. He turns all the women into submissive women. Oh, which the modern female hates, right? And I'm looking at it like, how is this a bad thing that they're cooking food and rubbing our feet and serving us food? What's wrong with that? You know, yeah. Do you want a beer? Sure. Why not? Yeah, I'll take a beer. Have your woman bring you a beer. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with your woman bringing you a beer? I guess something's wrong with that. So then Barbie starts to find her best friend, her best human friend, right? And then the human friend starts telling her all the things about women in society. And this is the part where I was just like, oh my God, here we go again. Like, I'm in the movie theater actually doing this. Like, oh God, here. Oh my God. Oh God, here we go. I got to hear this in a movie. I've already heard this enough at home. I got to hear this in a movie. Yeah, she starts talking about how women don't have this, women don't have equal pay and don't have equal rights. And even when women don't get the same credit as male rappers. And that's probably true. A lot of people put more male rappers in their top 10 than female rappers. I don't know. Maybe female rappers just haven't rapped as good as men yet or told the same stories. I don't know. Don't hold that against me because I think Lauryn Hill could possibly be in my top 10. She could. So don't hold that against me. But I'm just saying, she goes off on this rant on that. And then she convinces the bad Barbie, the one that got played with too much, that turned into a lesbian, male hater, I don't know. But, she's definitely a lesbian. And that's cool. But, yeah. So it's like, oh, but she's the less attractive Barbie is what they say. And Margaret Robbie's character, she plays the stereotypical Barbie. Wow, what metaphors they use in this movie, man. It's like the Matrix, too. They did take on the Matrix as well. And then so they come up with this plan to get their power back because now Ken came from our world and learned about patriarchy. And they want to bring, is it matriarchy? These new words. Not new words, but you know what I mean? I don't really use these type of dumb words. Yeah, matriarchy versus patriarchy, right? And so they come with these new things, whatever, to try to get their power back. And that's where they come with the manipulating the men, play with their ego, get up in the middle of a man trying to serenade you. Yeah, that part, when they started doing that part, I was just like, wow. That's what women do sometimes. And I know that when y'all are doing that shit, that it's really just to with our ego. You know? Like, I know that that's what it's for. Oh man, what a great movie. What a movie that's needed right now for women to just talk shit to men all across the world. And you know what? Since you ain't hearing us, we're going to do it in a movie. This was definitely that movie. That's why I'm saying, as a man, you should go see Barbie. You should, man, because I don't even want to get into all the other conspiracy theories about them having, I think, was a transgender playing the Dr. Barbie out of all the Barbies to play. That's kind of interesting. One of the main messages that I got from this movie was that they were kind of playing on the idea that men are dumb. Now, let me say this. In the Barbie world, Barbie does construction. She picks up the trash. She's the garbage woman and all that. I don't think in the real world that Barbie wants to pick up trash, especially right now in the summertime where it's hot and we got a heat wave. I don't think that a Barbie is trying to be outside, especially where she has her makeup on and she's sweating and her makeup is getting all drippy and stuff. Are you trying to be out there moving some trees or moving some construction or moving some trash or some junk off the street and cleaning up and sweeping on the street in the hot sun? Ain't no Barbie trying to do that. Whatever. Ain't no woman trying to do that. All the women looking at me in the audience. Yeah, it was a lot of that. It was a lot of this. It was a lot of that back and forth. Like, oh, yeah, everybody, yeah. It's a good movie to go see. Now, I will say this. If you decide to go see that movie with your girlfriend, be careful, okay? Because if your woman believes in all that stuff, it could change her mind. Now, if your girlfriend is strong-minded and understands, some of this is kind of BS, then, all right, cool. Yeah, go check that movie out. But if she's on, because I'm telling you right now, I think that movie is going to brainwash a bunch of women. So let's just go to the final part of the conclusion of this. And let me go ahead and say that overall, she convinces Kim, and they take all the Barbies down one by one that want to serve man after Ken goes back and changes it with his patriarchy. That's an interesting word. After he goes back, and I heard that word like 50,000 times in the movie. After he goes back and he changes his world, and then they decide to manipulate all the men and change all the women, and they come with the feminist right. And it's very interesting that the human woman is the one that's changing all of their minds and making all of them change, saying, yeah, you shouldn't serve a man. You are a doctor. You shouldn't be doing that. You are the president. You shouldn't be rubbing his feet and serving him food. You are a lawyer. I think that towards the end of the movie was really great, or good, shall I say. It was good. But then as we got towards the end of the movie, it got weird. It got really strange. I think everybody can agree on that. And it got to the point where it was like, oh, Ken, we don't need you anymore. Oh, go find yourself. Oh, that's like so typical what a woman says when she wants to break up or something like that. Like, go find yourself, Ken. And then it's like, okay. So Ken just realizes like, yo, he is Ken. Oh, yeah, I can do this on my own. I feel like it's like pushing this single agenda that women don't need men. Just like how the new Snow White movie is doing. It's just pushing the agenda that women don't need men. And I don't think that I really agree with that. What if she had a son in the movie? That would have been an interesting take. If instead of the kid being a daughter, if it was actually a boy, and he had to go to Barbie Land with his mom. Whew. Oh, what a metaphor there. But they ain't trying to do that in Hollywood. And what if they were black? I really found it interesting too that Ryan Gosling was the main Ken, but all the other Kens were of other ethnicities. I wanted to see another Ken that looked like a Ryan Gosling going after Barbie. That just would have been more realistic to me. I'm sorry, Asian Ken just didn't really do it for me. Maybe, and it couldn't have been a black Ken because that would have just been too competitive. And it was interesting that his two homies were black. One of them seemed a little feminine, though. Man. So then she goes back to decide to become a woman. And then when you think that she's actually going on a job interview, she actually decides that, she's going to see her gynecologist. So now she has a vagina and she has officially became a woman. What does that mean? What does that mean, man? That was such a weird ending. Like, that was unexpected. That's a ending where, yeah, don't take your kids to see this movie. But yeah, man, feminism at its finest, modern day feminism. We don't need men is what they are saying, is what I'm hearing. Breaking up family values, family traditions. It's interesting because this is what Kanye said in one of his interviews, that Western civilization doesn't believe in family. I have mixed emotions about this film, but I will say this, that I think you should go see it, and I also think it's important for men to see it. Tell me your thoughts of this film, because I feel like I can make a whole nother video about this